If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Yeah, Jan, we started yesterday with the introduction of S4 HANA. So you joined on time. So today we'll be starting the actual S4 HANA finance sessions. Okay.
Okay, great.
Now, if you have got access to LMS system, please go through the recording. If you have any doubts, please let me know.
You mean recording from yesterday's session, you mean?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So we'll start with the basic system setup. Okay. So I know you guys have not yet received the system access. Okay. First thing is we need to install a SAP Launchpad software. So you will get this kind of document when you get the server access. Okay. So all the instructions will be provided like this. Okay. So when you scroll down, yeah. So if you click on this link, it will download the software. Okay. And then once you install the software, so you need to add these server details. So after installing, you will see this kind of login pad. Let me close this one. And you can see this icon, SAP login. And this is the user interface for logging into the SAP system. And then click on this new button. Click on connection. And then click on next. And you need to enter these details. Okay, description H1. Then you will get these details. Copy the application server. Stand 00. System ID S4H. So after you add these details, click on next and one more time and click on finish. So this will be added to your login. So to log into the system, just need to double click. Yeah. So once you double click, the system will automatically show the client number. So this is mandatory. We must give the client number. That means it allows us to log into that particular client. Okay. And then you will be provided with the user ID and then enter the password. And if you, by default, the login language will be EN. Even if you remove the language, so by default, we will be logging into the English language only. If you want to log in with any specific language, we have to give this language. The language is a 2-digit character. First, we will see the navigation of SAP system. As soon as we log in into the system, system will take us to the SAP Easy Access screen. Okay. So there will be different screens. In the Easy Access screen, it will be mostly used by the end users for their day-to-day transactions. For consultants, for the IT team, we will have to log into the implementation guide. So we have the transaction codes to logging into the implementation guide. Okay. First, we will see the navigation. And this is called menu bar. This is title bar. and this is toolbar. And in the bottom, this part is called the message bar. If there are any messages like the information message, warning message, error message, all those messages will be displayed in this bar. That's why we call it as message bar. And so in SAP, we have several modules, right? All these modules are grouped into these folders. We mostly log into this accounting one only. Under accounting, financial accounting. And we have sub-modules, general ledger, accounts receivables, accounts payables. We don't use this one, banks, fixed assets. And again, if you open further notes, you will see the further transactions. So in SAP, for accessing any application, a transaction
Can I
code is
interrupt you
required.
for a second?
Yes.
So right side screen is for end user, right? So the left side is the one like the consultant.
No. This full
uses.
screen is for the end users only. But the
Okay.
consultants I have not yet shown you.
Okay.
I will.
Got
This is only the logo to display the company's logo. This here it is showing the this server provider's name. Usually in the companies in the real time, you would see the company's logo. Yeah. So we'll have further nodes divided into the groups. Okay. And for any accessing any application, yeah, Ranita.
Sorry, where did you say that the SAP Launchpad instructions, the one you just showed earlier than this, where is it at? This one?
Yeah, this you will get in the email when the system access
okay.
is provided.
Okay. So we have to create a ticket for support to get that?
No, I will let the support team know. Okay. Once we complete at least a few sessions, and then I'll request the support team, then they will provide the access.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So to access any application in SAP, a transaction code is required. Or if we know the menu path, all these are called the menu path. Okay. We can navigate to that particular menu path and we can just double click on this one and it will take us to the particular transaction. And there is another way of accessing the transaction code. So you see here the transaction code is FB50. This is called command box or transaction code box. You can type that particular transaction code here. It will take you to the transaction. Okay. So there are different ways of going to the transactions. And now it displays the menu path, it displays both the transaction code and the description. So we can make some setting changes. If you right click on this white place and click this kind of node opens and click on the settings. And then you can click on, you can remove this checkbox, display technical names. After you remove this checkbox, click on the continue button. And then you will not be able to see the transaction codes now. Okay. Now it is only showing the descriptions. So I suggest you to keep the transaction codes until you familiarize. So select this checkbox. Then again, we have to go to that particular menu so to see whether the transaction codes are showing or not. Okay. Okay. Next thing is the favorites. So in day-to-day business transactions, users will be accessing some transactions very frequently. So multiple times a day or every day, at least one time. In that case, instead of it is difficult to remember also, or it is difficult to type. The standard transaction codes are usually 4 digits. Okay, and all the FI transaction codes start with the F only, and controlling transactions start with K. But if there are any custom transactions, the transaction code length would be more than 4 digits. Even there are few standard transaction codes which have the length more than 4 digits. So to avoid multiple typing, so the users can add those transaction codes in the favorites. So click on the favorites, right click, and insert transaction. This is added to the favorites. So similarly, we can create multiple folders. We can insert the folder and we can organize those folders the way we want. So we can remove the favorites also, delete favorites. And then, so when we are working on the system, we might have to navigate through several screens, right? So since it is only one screen I have opened now, but we might have to open multiple screens. So we can open multiple screens in different ways. So click on this system and click on new GUI window. Okay. System now open 2 screens. Right. Similarly, we can open few more. Right. So maximum we can open 6 screens at a time. If we try to open more than 6 screens, system will show a message that maximum number of sessions reach. So again, there is a setting in the background. It may allow more than 6. Yeah. So in this case, since it is a test system, they are allowing more than 6 screens. But usually in the real time, because to avoid any performance issues, we can open more than, they won't allow more than 6 sessions. Okay. Right. So when we are working on a transaction code, that we can type the transaction code, right? FP50. So now I am in one transaction. Now I want to go to another screen. The way is I can click on this system and new GUI window, or either I can click on these 3 lines or click on new GUI window. So here I can type another transaction code. While we are working on this screen, we want to type the transaction directly here. So I don't want to open a new session and then type. Okay, but we can directly open a new screen in this command box. So for that, we have to enter /o. Okay. The new transaction, whatever the transaction code you want to open, just enter. So now system created the new transaction code in a new screen. So now I have 3 screens open. Okay. But now I'm in the enter vendor invoice, but I don't want to open a new screen, but instead I want the system to close the existing one and open a new window in this place. But that one I can use the command /n. Now I will open FB70, the customer invoice. See, system has not opened a new session. Within the same session, it has closed the previous session and opened a new transaction code. So this is where we can open the screens. And to check the system settings, here if you click on this one, right, here we can display the transaction code, or we can display anything. Among these values, we can display any other values. So we can display the user ID. So usually we keep transaction code so that while working on any transaction, everyone can see which transaction code we are using. You can see the system name, the system which we logged into, and the client. I logged into the client 100. This is the user ID, and this is the application, and this is the program for this transaction. So for every transaction, we'll have a program in the background. So where all the coding is done in the program. Okay. So we cannot provide the program access to everyone. So we must create the transaction codes and link that program to the transaction code. Okay. So I want to go back. Either I can click on exit. So then it will take me to the easy access screen. So if you want to close this session, either you can click on this close button, or you can click on system, close GUI. Okay. Or you can click on these 3 lines. Here it is. There's no close button, but we have the stop transaction. What happens is when we are executing any transaction code and while it is processing, system will disable all these buttons. Okay, so let me go to one table. So if I execute this one, see, I'm not able to click anything until, since now it processed very fastly. Now it is taking time. I'm not able to click on anything. So in this case, you can just click on this corner and click on new GUI. Or if it is taking abnormal time, right? So we may have to stop this one. Then you can just click on stop transaction. The current transaction was reset. This is how the messages will display in the message bar. So we can change the look and feel of the screens currently by default theme of SAP. We can change these themes also. So you can click on more and SAP GUI settings and click on options. Okay. So now I am in the quartz theme. I can select any other theme, last theme. Okay. So the new settings may not be active. We may have to relog it. You can see the difference, the earlier screen and this screen. Yeah, I think it is applicable for all the systems. I don't see much difference between the previous one and this one. Let's try the colors in the system. Yeah, I'll select the screen. Try working. Yeah. Now you can see the color has been changed. Yeah, I will put the settings back. Okay. But any changes, we have to reload it. Okay, so those are the basic navigations for this one. So this is SAP Easy Access screen, right? So as soon as we log in, we first land into this page. To go to the consultant page, like we have to use the transaction code SPRO. Right. And then select SAP reference IMG. So in this IMG page, we do all the IT work. All the consultants will have to go to this one and do the customizing settings. So this access will not be given to the end users. End users will be given only access to the easy access. Okay. IMG means implementation guide. Right. So now let us start the main topics in finance module. So we'll start with the enterprise structure. Okay. So first we will start with the company code. So company code. First thing we need to discuss on the client. So client is this is the client that we logged in. So this is the highest organizational unit in SAP. Okay. So client is nothing but the system. The system that we are logging in is called the client. It will have its own data, everything. So to log into a system, we must have the client and we must configure or we must do any transaction in the client only. Before going to this one, so we'll discuss something about the landscape. In the real time, how the landscape will be there. So in the software, we cannot do anything directly in the production system. That means in the live system, we are not supposed to do anything. First, in the SDLC, software development cycle. So first thing is anything we have to do in the development system. We have to do the development, create the programs, create the configuration, everything first we have to do in the development system and do the testing. Once everything is good, then we have to move those changes to the quality system. Okay. And then again, we will do the one round of testing, which is called system testing, and user testing will also be done in the quality system. Okay. And everything is good, then finally we move those changes to the production system. Okay. So this is the process. So all the combination of all these systems, development, quality, and production, is called the landscape. Dev, and this will be the systems. So first we will do the settings and test in development and then go to quality and then from quality to production. This is how we move the changes. So in SAP, we call it as development client, quality client, and production client. And each system will come up with 3 digits. In this case, the system name is S4H. So similarly, in the real time, every client will have their own system names. Okay? Some will name it as dev, someone will name it as DRP, DR1, like this. It's their own language. Okay, but we need to know when we are working on the client system, we must know which is development, which is quality, and which is production. Okay. So they will provide you these parameters, like the way we have added, right? They will provide you these parameters for each system. These should be added, or otherwise there are other ways. If you contact with the web team or technical team, they will provide you the logon.ini file. We can just import that ini file into our system. Then the system will automatically add all those entries here. Okay. So let me create one sample. Mine is development. Let us say dev. I'm just adding some entries. I cannot open the system, but I'm just showing you how the system's landscape will be there in the real time. Okay. And then the next one will be the quality. It doesn't need to be the same way. So in this case, I have explained 3 systems. Sometimes you may have 4 systems also, okay, depending on the structure. QA. Okay, so this is how the systems will be created in the system. We are all these things, the setting up the client, everything is the job of basis team. We'll just need to add these entries into our logon pad to work on those particular systems. Okay. So this client, if anybody says to log into the development system, we must know the system name, and that should be available in our logon pad. Okay, so we discussed about the client. And similarly, there will be several landscapes. So the one I'm talking about, only the ECC system or S4 HANA system. The client may be using the BW, SRM, CRM systems. So for each application, there will be separate landscapes. Okay. But the main thing is when we are working on the S4 HANA system, we have to log into this S4 HANA on-premise system only. It is enough for us. These details are enough. For other consultants who are working in those areas, they need to know their respective landscapes. Yeah. So when it comes to the finance organization structure, the first important thing is the company code. So SAP is a business software, right? So that means the businesses, the large organizations use this software. So the businesses which were already established, so how they can be called as a companies, right? So legally they have been registered, right? So the companies that were registered as per the Companies Act or any other act as per the local governments, so that is called a legal entity in the general terminology, okay, or a company, organization, or a legal entity, okay. But the same legal entity in SAP represents a company code. So this is the minimum setting that is required in SAP. Without company code, we cannot do anything, at least in the financial accounting. Every transaction will refer to the company code only. Okay. So a company code represents an independent legal entity, so for which a full set of financial statements can be prepared. So you can see the company code is the minimum structure necessary in SAP, and it is the smallest organizational unit for which the complete self-contained set of accounts can be created. So it includes all the transactions, all the master data will be created with reference to the company code only. So all the financial statements that are required by law are created at the company code level. So this is basically used for the external reporting. Okay. So hope you guys understood the company code. And if a company is doing the businesses in several countries, okay, as per their local regulations, they might have to register their company in the other countries as well. Then we will have to create multiple company codes. Suppose a company is doing the business in US, okay, it is using a SAP system. So it will create a company code for US country. But the same company doing the operations in another countries like Canada, Europe, or in ASPAC. So it has to be registered in those countries separately. Then it represents a separate legal entity. Okay, so then we have to create a separate company code for that country. Okay. And again, it represents, it depends on the business model. Okay, a company may be doing the businesses in different segments. Okay, so in software or in manufacturing or in medical, right? So they must be registered separately. Okay, so depending on the business model. Okay, so under one name they can do multiple businesses, or if they want, if there are any local requirements that require the companies to create separate company, then they have to create as a separate company for operating those particular business. Okay, like if we take a Tata Group. So under Tata Group, we have so many companies, but all represent the Tata Group, but legally all they are registered separate companies. Okay, in that case, in the system, we have to create a separate company for each business. Okay, I hope this company code concept is understood. Any doubts? Okay, yeah, I know this is a basic level. Some of you are already experienced in SAP. You may not have questions, but those who do not know this SAP Finance module, so you can ask the questions. All right. For starting the configuration, we have to enter the transaction SPRO and click on SAP reference IMG. And then we have to navigate to that particular transaction. So for creating all the organization structural data, we have to navigate to the enterprise structure. And under enterprise structure, click on definition and click on financial accounting. Click on edit, copy, delete, check company code. So now you have to click on this execute button. Okay, now we will see two options. One is copy, delete, check company code. If you want to copy the company code from another company code, then we can navigate to this one. So now I'll create a new company code without copying. So then double click on this edit company code data. Then click on new entries. So the company code is a 4-digit character. The length of the company code is 4 digits. I'll create one ZT01. Okay, so it means no matches found, means this company code does not exist. So if any company code exists with the same name, we cannot create. Okay? I mean the same number. This company code is a 4-digit length and it can be alphanumeric. Okay. One city, country US, currency USD, language yen. Okay. So once we enter these basic details and click on enter and click on save, it will open another window. Here we have to enter the address details. So select company in the title and name GT01. Such term is useful in case of when we are searching in any transaction. If we know only this part, we can search with this one. And so any mandatory fields will represent with the star button. Okay. So we must enter or we must fill those fields. So for now, I'll only fill those mandatory fields here. Okay, so click on copy. Okay, so any configuration, whenever we add any configuration, right, in the SPRO transaction, system will prompt for a customizing request. Okay, so we cannot create these customizing settings in each client. So we discussed about development, quality, and production, right? So we will be doing a lot of configurations starting from the company code to fiscal year variant, chart of accounts, like this. A lot of configurations we have to set up before posting any transaction. Okay. So recreating all this data again in another system is not possible. It may cause the errors as well. Okay. So SAP will include all these changes into a transport request, and this transport request will be moved to the higher environment. Higher environment means quality, and then next higher is production. So that we don't need to do these settings again and again. Since we are working on the demo system, so these transports will not go anywhere. They will stay in the same system. Okay. So I will create request because I want to include our changes in a new transport. So enter the short description and click on save. Okay, now you can see a new request has been generated and click on continue. So now my company code creation is saved under a transport request. So once done, I just clicked on back button. Now we can see our new company code in the list of all company codes. There are 328 company codes in this system, so that we have created one company code. Okay. So I want to show you the transport request. I want to go to a particular transaction. So what we discussed, if I want to stay in the same system, but I want to open a new session, what I need to do, I need to enter /o and then type the transaction code where I want to go. Okay. SC10. I want to go to SC10. So which will show me all the transport requests. Click on display. This is the one I just created. So you can click on these nodes. So in this IMG activity, I have created the company code which is showing here.
Pawan?
Yes.
Maybe I was zoned out, or maybe I for a second. So you said like / something, right? From where did you enter that?
In this transaction code box, here you can see the white box.
No, but how do you know you have to enter that particular?
These are the basic commands that are required. You are talking about this transaction code SC10.
Yeah.
Okay, so that we have to remember. So by practice, we will remember. So for to open any transaction in SAP, either there are two ways. One is through the menu path, navigating to the menu path. The other one is the transaction code. So if it is a financial navigation, we know it is easy, but if there are some technical, it is difficult to use the navigation path. So some basic transaction codes we have to remember.
Okay.
Right. So in SAP, the data is saved in a table format. Okay. So when I save this data, visually it is showing in the screens like this. But in the backend, it stores all this data into tables. Okay. As a consultant, it is important to remember the backend tables as well. Okay. For the company code, you can see in the transport request, the table name is T001. Okay. So let me go to that particular table. Now I will go to another transaction code /OSC16N. So please note down or remember this transaction code we will be frequently using SC16N. So this transaction code is useful to display the entries of any table. So the table name for company code data is T001. Give the table name and click on enter button. Now you will see this fields. The company code I have created is ZT01. Enter this one. Now we can see this is called execution button. Okay. So click on this execution button. So it will show the data that I have filled in the configuration settings. All the data will be shown like this. So this will be useful when we want to display multiple companies or multiple transactions, right? So this is the easiest way instead of going to that menu path. So
when you say like after entering the values, click the enter button, just the enter button on the keyboard.
yes, enter button on the keyboard. For example, I'll change the table name T005. So it is not changing automatically, right? So once you give the name on the keyboard, hit the enter button. Now it is changed to the countries. Okay.
One question I have. So since we are finding out the table name based on that SE10T code, transport organization. So all the companies codes would be assigned this with that table name only T001, or else whenever we create the new company, the table would be changed.
No. So all the company codes data. So there will be several tables, thousands of tables, but one table is used for the one particular configuration. So if you want to see the company codes, right, all the company codes data will be stored in this table only. So I will not give my company code here now. I'll just execute here. Okay, now you can see 328, the same number which we have seen here. So my company code is so now the first line is 320th line, and it is showing 328 records, total records, and in the table also it is matching 328.
All right.
So it is not possible every time to go to and check this transport request, right? So if we want to know the table name, the background table name, the other way is whenever you come to this configuration path, just click on any field and press F1 button on your keyboard. Okay. It will show this performance assistance, and then here something called technical information. Click on this technical information, and now system is showing this table name T001. So for this company code configuration, the backend table is T001, and the field name is BUKRS, bookers, because I have tried to open this help button from this company code field. It is showing the technical name of that particular field. If we try to open this help button from other field, it would have shown a different field name.
Even different table number as well, table name as well.
No, the table would be same. For example, here in the city, I will press F1. Go to technical information. You see the table name is same, but the field name for city is different. Okay. So like this, whatever the field that we are displaying in this screen, every field will have a technical name in the background. But the table, all those fields are grouped in this table only.
Got it.
So in the easy access screen itself, we can see this table names, bookers, the company code, city, land. Okay, so this is company code definition, where company code is the smallest organizational unit which represents the legal entity, and the legal entity is the accounting terminology, but in SAP it represents the company code. So we can this is the minimum structure, and it is mandatory to create the company code.
Pavan, this is
Yeah.
Ram.
Yeah.
Can we just
Yeah.
go back to the menu?
Right.
Yeah. What's the difference between that first option, define company, and the one that you used, edit, copy, delete?
Yeah, so we'll come to that one. So once we
Okay.
complete the company, but that is
Oh.
another organizational unit in financial accounting.
Okay. Thank you.
Financial accounting. So length of company code is 4 digits. Table name is P001. And how did we navigate to this one? Right. Next one in the organizational structure is company. Okay, so company represents a consolidated company. It consists more than one company code. So that means we are grouping two company codes into company. Okay, so if we have multiple companies under a group of companies, then we might have to prepare the consolidated results for all those companies. Okay, so for example, the revenues of a company, CT01 we have, right? CT01. The revenue is, for example, 10,000. I have another company code for which revenue is 20,000. Okay. So we have to prepare financial statements independently for each company code, okay, which shows this revenue figure. And we also have to prepare third set of financial statements, which are called consolidated results. In the consolidated results, we club the figures of these two company codes. So then the consolidated amount will be 30,000. So how can we prepare this consolidated results? Is by combining or assigning the two company codes to a company. Okay. So company is the highest level. Under company, the multiple company codes can be assigned. So we can assign more than one company code, and it represents the consolidated unit in the financial accounting. And all company codes within a company must use the same sort of accounts and fiscal year. Okay. But the currencies can be different. We'll define one. Before going to company, let me create one more company code. I'll create a different city. Continue. I'm saving the same transport. So now I have created two company codes, ZT01 and ZT02. Now I will create one company. So the navigation path for the company is same. Click on the execution button. Click on new entries. But for the company, the length is more than company code's length. In the company code, we use only 4-digit length. But in case of company, it is 6 digits. So 224 plus 6 digits. GT company. All the consolidated functions happen at the group level. So my group company is also in US. Comes with the currency USD. Save. The company more than and represents the group company. Consolidation functions. Length is 6 digits and the table is created 0. So again, how can we know the table? Go back again and click on any field, press F1. Click on technical information. So we'll see the table name P880. So now we'll go into the further organizational units. So the company code is mandatory. The definition of company is optional. So SAP has provided all possible ways to create the organizational structures and the way the clients want. So some organizational units may not be mandatory and some are mandatory, and depends on the business model of each company. Okay. The next organizational unit is the business area. So business area represents area of operations or area of responsibility. So creating the financial statements at the company code level is mandatory for the external reporting for the government authorities, tax authorities. But the business area level also we can prepare the financial statements, but it is purely internal reporting purpose. Okay. So the area of operations means the company where business wants to see the results, segregates the further down into the under the company code level. Like we are operating in a country, we may have branches, different branches for that company code, right? So north division, south division, east, west, like this. Okay, so if we want to have to see the financial results at each branch level, so then we can, it is not possible, right? We cannot create another company code for those financial statement, right? Because this is for the internal purpose. We want to have a look, and if there are any unnecessary costs, if we want to reduce or if we want to improve the profits of those particular branches, then this business area will come into the help to prepare the financial statements. Okay. So there were some blogs or some news, right? So in S4 HANA, business area is not supported, but that is not correct. As you can see, we are in the S4 HANA 2021 system, and we can still see the business area. Okay. This may not be supported in some other functionalities like in the central finance, but as per SAP, the business area is still available in S4 HANA, but the further improvements may not be happening, right? So this is created. First, for example, are the branches or plants. So a plant is a manufacturing unit or a distribution center or anything in the company, but we cannot prepare the financial statements at the plant level because the plant is created for the purpose of plant creation is different. But in case if we want to have financial statements at the plant level, how it is possible? It is possible through the business area level. Any transaction that happens the plant level, right? We assign the business area also for those transactions. That's how we can manage the financial statements. Okay, and this business area is yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, please go ahead.
Do you have any information more on why or in what context that blog is saying, or SAP may have by basically going forward, they may not support fully the business area features? Because as far as I know, like you're explaining, it is for like doing some financial analysis at a segment level or something. This is the same as business segment, right? Business area is nothing but, is it not?
No,
it's not different.
Segment, there is no concept called business segment, but we have segment in SAP since a new GL started. But segment is also for the external reporting. So as per the IFRS standards, segment reporting is mandatory.
Oh yeah, IFRS,
IFRS, yeah.
IFRS, okay, external.
Yeah.
So this one actually, at least the business area was for internal. So,
right.
I mean, also like we have profit centers, right?
Yes.
Where you could actually generate those financial statements like that.
Correct.
So how would be it different from a business area, like generating any sort of financial analysis reports at business area as opposed to a profit center? How is it different?
Yeah, we'll understand the purpose of each organizational unit, and then we'll understand the difference between these areas. Okay. Earlier in old ECC systems, there was a different purpose for the business area. So the way I have explained, right, when the companies which are not implementing the controlling module, right, so in those cases, the business area would be helpful for the controlling costs or for the reporting purpose. Okay, but the clients, the old clients which already implemented business area, they are continuing with this one. But when segment concept came into the picture, right, the importance of business area has decreased. Okay, so but
Okay.
for the reporting other purposes, they are still using the business area, but it is not significant.
Okay. So this is on FI side. So you're saying like
Yes.
on controlling, like we have cost centers and all those.
Yeah, because for
So
this same purpose, we have the other ways of
mhm.
preparing the controlling and the segment level, profit center
Oh.
level, cost center level. Yeah.
So is that the reason SAP in future they may not continue supporting this
No,
business
no,
area
it
concept?
will continue. This is the another confusion. Okay.
Mhm.
But because in central finance means all the financial data will flow into the central finance where the consolidated results, the group results will be prepared. So the central finance business area is not allowed. That I guess that may be causing that the room that is SAP may discontinue with the business area. But the old clients who are migrating to S4 HANA, the business area is still supported.
Okay. Okay. So they're keeping it open so that they're
Yes.
backward compatible.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
So we'll create business area, but we will not use this business area. But I will show you how to create the business area. So click on new entries. It is 01. So that whenever we are entering, it will, while searching, it won't cause any difficulties for us if I keep the company name in the description. And again, business area is cross company code. So we are not going to assign this business area to any company code. Any company code that is available in this client can use this business area. And I'm not mentioning the other details, like the length, all those things, because it is not that much important in this business area level. So, but it is important to remember the other technical details, table and length at the company code and company level. Okay. So the next one in the organization structure is functional area. So again, this shows in the enterprise structure, but if we click on execute, we will get the error message. If the view is obsolete, use FM_function. So this has been removed and another T code is provided. I don't know why SAP has done this one. They may be planning some other future developments for this one. Okay. The functional area represents the internal departments. So we'll be having several departments, right? The sales, HR, procurement, R&D. So like this, we'll create functional areas for each of the department, and it helps. And also if the company is using the cost of sales account, so there are two accounting methods, period accounting and cost of sales accounting. So in cost of sales accounting method, the financial statements shows this functional area wise expenses. Okay, so if the companies want to use this by default, SAP provides the period accounting. If any company want to use the cost of sales accounting, the functional areas will be helpful. So the determining the functional area. So while creating the journal entries, we can manually enter the functional area, and also in the cost center, or in other master data, we can assign the functional area so that whenever that particular master data is used, system will determine the functional areas without manually inputting the data. So for functional areas, the key code we have to use is the underscore function. Let us see what are available. I'll create it like this ZT SM. Sales and marketing. CTHR. So that's all. Creation of the functional area is simple. Using this T code, give the functional area number and text and save. Okay. So this is also not mandatory. Defining functional area is also optional. Business area is also optional. So in financial accounting, these are not used. Consolidation, business area and FM area are not required. Then define segment and profit center. So we'll discuss both. First, profit center. So we will not be able to create this thing in the enterprise structure because we must first create the controlling area. Then only it is possible. Okay. Earlier in the old ECC systems, until new GL was not started, right? So the profit center treated as a master data. Okay, so now it is included in the enterprise structure. A profit center represents the products of the company. It can be created as the area of the profit centers can be created by product wise or area wise. Okay, so it's up to the business. Usually the scenarios which I have seen, the profit center is created at the product level. Okay. And then segment is the higher level. The segment represents the segment, each business segment under the company. For example, a company has its operations in different segments. For example, hotel segments, food segments, and cool drink segments. Like this, the business has its operations in multiple segments, and each segments we may have a different products. Okay, so for example, in the food segment, we have a company. So maybe we can call one company which is into the food manufacturing. Okay, so the food is one segment. Under food, we'll have different products, right? Maybe packaged foods, okay, and then groceries or some other thing. Okay. So again, this each category of product is called a profit center. We can create profit centers for each product level. Okay. But now we cannot create because so segment we can create, but for creation of profit center, we must have the controlling area. So first let me create the segment. Segment represents so as per the IFRS, I think it is IFRS 13. Reporting at segment level is mandatory if the revenue of that particular segment is more than 10% of the overall revenue. Okay.
IFRS 8, isn't it?
8. Okay. Yeah, I do not remember exactly. That's 8. At segment level is branded. The profit center usually represents. So these are the organizational structures. So let me first draw a picture. So this is company. If we see the hierarchical level, hierarchical representation of the organization structure. Company code 1. So we can assign these companies, the company codes to the company for the consolidated results purpose. So the company represents the group company and the company codes are individual companies under this group. And then we have the segments. Maybe I click code. Beverages. That's some other hotels. So under food, we will have the further profit centers. Here I'm not drawing the lines because the segment, we are not going to assign the segment to the company. That is food. Okay. So this represents one profit center. Because I'm designing my structure like the my profit center represents the product. So it's up to the company. We can create a profit center by area wise also. So some other maybe chips. Okay. Bakery items like this. So these will represent the profit centers. So there is no assignment in the profit center. We have a field for the segment. So we must assign the segment in the profit center. Sorry, I'm bad at drawing these things. Yeah. So this is how the organization structure looks like. So further under beverages segment, we have a few more profit center, and hotels, there will be few more profit centers. So in the hotels, we will not have any products, right? Maybe when representing the hotels, we can have a profit centers created at area level. Okay. So the profit centers are also called as companies within the company and we can create a full set of financial statements at the profit center level as well. So this is the full organization structure of FICO, and we have just configured these things, but we have not done any assignments. It looks hard, but we have to add some colors, make it better. Later. So now the assignment part. So first, let us complete the financial accounting part, then we'll go to the control. And we can see another one, credit control area. This is one of the organization structure, but we will not. We'll discuss it later because it is used for the credit checks. So when any customer wants to do the business with us, so the companies will do the credit check of those customers. So earlier this credit management, this process is called credit management, is part of the FISD module, but from S4 HANA it has been moved to the FSCM module. So it will be done in the FSCM credit management. Okay, so we'll discuss this credit control area and that FSCM credit management later when we come to the accounts receivable part. Okay. So now we are done with the definition. So now we'll go to the assignment. So what is assignment? So we discussed that the company codes can be assigned to a company, right? So how system will know these particular, we have 328 company codes created, right? But which company codes belong to one group? So we have to connect the company codes to the company. So that we are going to do under assignment. Assignment. So we can scroll down, but it is difficult to search, right? So for that one, if we remember our company code number or name, we can just click on the position, type that number, then it will take us to that company code. So here, enter our company. As soon as I enter the first letters, system has shown the search results. Since both ZT01, ZT02 belong to the same group, I will assign the same company here. Okay, so it's just showing the warning message that company code currency. It is only a warning message, but still it will allow us to save. Click on save. Okay. So what else we have under assignment? So we have not defined so credit control area not done. Then assign profit center to company person. We have not created the profit center. We'll do it later. Okay. So in controlling area also we cannot create right now because in controlling area we have to assign the chart of accounts and fiscal year variant. But I'll just explain what is controlling area. Okay. So the company code is for the financial accounting, right? Controlling area is for the management accounting. So any activities, the controlling is completely for the internal management purpose. It is also called management accounting. So financial accounting is important that we know, but internal management is also very much important to have the control on the costs. It helps us to have a control on the cost and improve the revenues. Okay. So any internal functions like the cost centers, profit centers, anything if you want to create, all those things can be done under controlling area level. Okay. So in controlling area
Just,
also. Yeah, please.
yes, go ahead. No, could you just expand on the definition drop down? Because yeah, this one we have basically defined some basic org units, but
Yeah.
so on definition in the menu, if you drop down
Yeah,
on the definition, so you'll have
when you talk about the financial accounting organization structure, you need to talk about these elements only: company code, segment, and profit center. But when you are talking about the controlling level organization structure, the picture will look like this. We assign the company codes to the controlling area. So that means controlling area is the highest level. So combining the FI and controlling org structure, so controlling area would be at top level, and then under controlling area we assign the company codes. So the controlling area defines a self-contained organized structure which costs and revenues can be managed and allocated. It represents a separate unit of cost accounting. Okay. So there are different kinds of.
Yeah, this is fine. I was sorry. I was referring to the SAP. Under SAP, you have the definition, right? That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
So yeah. So on the top under enterprise structure.
And enterprise structure, go to definition and controlling, and then click on maintain controlling area. Okay, and click on.
Okay, this is fine. But I was asking about, yeah, this is controlling. But still under FI, we would have all the other definitions to be done, right? Like apart from org units that you just went through, all the fiscal year variants and
so that those are not part of the enterprise structure. Those are part of the global settings. Fiscal year variant. Chart of accounts is part of the general ledger module. The fiscal year variant, field status variant, posting period variant. All these are part of the global
GL.
settings. Global GL, settings, yeah. Chart of accounts is under GL.
And so when does the assignment of say chart of account and fiscal year to a company happen?
Yeah, so once we define under those particular modules, we will assign those things, but we need to understand the purpose of fiscal year and all those things. But we are done with the enterprise structure, and then there is separate node in financial accounting. And financial accounting global settings.
Okay, thank you.
We will come to the ledger, fiscal year, and all those things under this node.
Okay, so one more thing under there, if you said like, I don't have the course structure, but you mentioned like accounts receivable. Are you going to cover like FSCM? Is it now part of that, or are you just going to touch the credit control area? That's all.
Only the credit management part I'm going to touch base. The FSCM is separate module actually. It includes collections, dispute, credit management, bill and direct, and then treasury also. So itself is another 2 months or 3 months course. So, but for our system, for S4 HANA related, I mean S4 HANA finance related, we are going to touch base the important things. One is the business partner, anyhow that is mandatory in S4 HANA, and then the credit management. We'll discuss those things.
Okay, just from an AR perspective.
So Pawan, I have a doubt about this company and company codes.
Yeah.
We assigned our company codes to a company, right?
Yes.
Now, I read somewhere in that slide that to be assigned to a company, the company code should share the same chart of accounts and fiscal year, right? But we have already assigned. Isn't that there is some contradiction there somewhere?
Yeah, but there are something in the consolidation, so then the issues will happen. So For just for assignment, it is not a problem. But when we are there is a separate thing called which is handled in the group reporting. So when we prepare the consolidated things, in those cases we will have the issues if the company codes assigned to a company is not having this same sort of accounts.
So my question is, I mean, why should isn't it being done backwards? Shouldn't the chart of accounts and fiscal year first be assigned, and then only an assignment to a company take place?
Right. Yeah. Ideally, you are right. Yeah,
Okay.
but just we are in the coming in the flow, so I have
Okay.
explained.
Okay.
Usually, company it doesn't have any importance. Okay. So
Okay.
we until only for discussion purpose.
Okay.
When we come to the actual postings, everywhere we use the company code only.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so controlling area. So we can assign the company codes to the controlling area, right? If we want to have a cost accounting management. So there are two types of assignments possible. So we can create separate controlling area for each company code. But the difficulty is we cannot have the cross company code transactions. Okay, so when the company codes exist in the same system, there might be some cross company code transactions happen. And the cross company code controlling is not possible if we have one-to-one assignment. And the second assignment is the cross company code cost accounting. That means multiple company codes can be assigned to the controlling area. And here again, we have some prerequisites for this cross company controlling. So all the company codes must use the same operating chart of accounts and must use the same fiscal year variant. So the same requirement that we discussed in the company, right? But in case of company assignment, system did not show any error. But the controlling area definition time, we will get the errors. So while creating the controlling area, we can assign the chart of accounts and fiscal year variant. But while assigning the company codes to the controlling area, if these settings are not matching, system will not allow us for the assignment. So as of now, we cannot go ahead and create the controlling area because we do not have the fiscal year and chart of accounts. So we'll create the controlling area once we complete those topics. Right. So today we have completed the enterprise structure. And then, so for next session, we'll first discuss about the fiscal year variant and posting period variant, and then we'll go to the ledgers. Okay. And we have to complete a lot of settings before posting our first transaction. So it takes time in completing all the relevant configuration. Then only we will be able to, I will be able to show you the first transaction. Okay, so any questions?
Yes, Isidore here. I
Yeah.
have one doubt I want you to help me clarify. With respect to assignment, would there be any direct assignment of the control area to the company?
No, we cannot assign the company to the controlling area. We can assign only the company code. So the purpose of company is only for the consolidation purpose. It will not come into the picture in any of the transactions. Only the controlling area company codes will come in the picture while we post any transactions.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
One request, can you just, in this presentation that you are going to upload, can you just put in somewhere that T code for opening the company table, T100?
I did, I think. T001.
Yeah,
company
T001.
code.
And the T code for opening that table.
Okay.
Yeah, SC16N, right?
Thank you.
With the slash or just like that?
Yeah. If you are working on any session and you don't want to close this session, you can use /o. Or if you are in the initial session, in the SAP Easy Access screen, you can just directly type SC16N without any prefix of /o/n.
I have one very
Yeah.
basic question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Working as a SAP consultant is very difficult, or the end user?
Consultant is difficult. We need to gain some experience. Once experience is gained, then it will be easy.
What about the end user?
End user will have very limited roles. We will be working in departments, right? So they will have very limited access. If you are working as an accountant, you will have access to the accounting level transactions only. Okay. So you will not be able to explore anything.
No. In the market, there are end user jobs as well as SAP consultant jobs, right?
The demand
So-
is for consultants only. Because for end users, you don't need to have any experience. If you know just accounting background, then you are good to work as an
So
user.
in this session, you will be showing us the end user part also, right?
Definitely. So otherwise, if you don't know the end user transaction, we cannot know the results, right? We have done the configuration. How can we see the results? So we have to compulsorily use the end user transactions to test whether our configuration is working or not.
So you will show us what
Yes,
will
yes.
be the job of end user looks like, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Just a couple of questions. Those the number of characters for company and company code 4 and 6. Those are mandatory or the maximum?
Maximum. Yeah.
Maximum. Okay, I can have lesser than that.
Yeah, 1 to 4. For example, company code maximum length is 4. You can create between 1 to 4.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that part. Good question.
Since you're on this point, on the transport, if you, on the landscape, if you're going to move configurations from, one landscape area, from DevOps to quality, for instance, all you need here is the transport ID, right?
Right. So every company follows a different procedure that is called change management process. Okay. So once we are done with the configuration and ready for testing, also completed, ready for moving to the next level, either we can give the transport request to the basis team, they will transport, or the clients who are using some automated systems like the Solman solution manager. So once the manager or the CAB approver, called the change approval board, approves that Solman, it automatically transports this transport request to the next system.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So as a functional consultant, our job would stop with generating the transport request, right?
Right.
Okay.
Again, the process Depends. Okay, so the change management process starts with creating the change request.
Right.
Okay. So like, for example, in case of implementation, that process is different. All we group, if we are working on an implementation project, right, we will be doing lots of configuration. So it is good idea to include all the configurations into multiple transports. Like
Right.
I will use one transport request for my organizational structure, one transport for the global city, one transport for the GL, one transport for AL. Like this will include. Okay, but in case of normal enhancements, right? So the process begins with creation of the change request. The
Right.
change request must be approved, then only the transport request will be assigned to the change request.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so there are no other questions. We can wind up for today, and wish you have a nice weekend, and we'll meet on Monday.
Have a wonderful weekend to everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day. Good
Thanks a lot.
evening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.